HOTT. Anyways.
I'll just mute that when I go into edit so that we have some space at the start of the recording.
Editor, keep that in.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back to Performance Check. My name is Ethan Mann and I am your Dungeon Master. I have 4 wonderful players with me today. That is right, we are back to the main campaign of the show. Woo!
Hip, hip, I'm excited to be back.
Welcome back, Jimmy from the Plague. Jimmy, another year older, another year wiser, another year closer to death.
Was yesterday, January 11th. We're recording on the 12th, so super excited to be back. And I'm another year older. I feel very wise. Allegedly, I have a fully developed brain now. I don't know how true that is. So
very heavily allegedly.
So yeah, it's good to be back.
We're gonna just start at the top of my screen and go around our little virtual table here, which means Rudy, you are up first, except you're frantically chewing the hummus. So,
going so fast.
Felicity, let's start with you, actually. Felicity, can you tell us what your favorite class in school was, or if you did not attend school, what your favorite class would have been?
I went to school for a little bit. I really did enjoy science class, just figuring out the mechanics of how things work and why they work. English class was boring, I slept. Math class was annoying, so I slept. And yeah, I like science class. And history class was boring, so I slept.
Amazing. Thank you, Felicity, played by the one and only Michael. Rudy, we'll bounce back over to you now.
I get it. Yeah. Bounce, because the rabbit thing. Anyways,
boo.
Brother, this guy stinks! When I went to school, I didn't stay for very long. It was more of a pit stop on this big, beautiful journey we call life. I didn't flunk out. I left of my own accord. I did, however, very much enjoy recess. That was fun when that was an option available to me. Just running around and yelling and screaming and throwing things. That was a lot of fun. I had a great time there. But the whole book thing, writing things, not really my thing. It's fine, I guess, but, I'd rather just scream and shout.
And let it out.
CK, we'll jump over to you.
CK famously is 2 years old, so hasn't had much time to, go to school. But I think if they went to school, their favorite class would be dance.
Interesting. Wow. Just gonna casually write that down. Make sure we have
a incoming CK bard moment.
Make sure that we have a ball episode.
A ball episode where CK gets to be bad at dancing?
Exactly. Last but certainly not least. And also Rudy's played by Evan, CK's played by Jimmy. And bouncing over to Claudia for Lysander.
Get it? Bounce, because...
Yeah, I think I would have... I went to school when I was younger, and if anyone tells you that I enjoyed orchestra, they're lying. I really liked woodworking once I was able to get my hands on some tools.
Amazing. Let's go ahead and jump back in. When last we left this gaggle of creatures, they had bested in battle a mushy, slimy, wet pile of leaves that knocked down the back wall of Lysander's shop and stumbled in upon them, attempting to suffocate them, smash them, all the things that fall foliage does to you on your typical day-to-day. After they regathered themselves, Lysander's book ripped itself open, started to scratch out in a thin line of fire a set of runes and hissed out the same metric chanting that it has done numerous times now while Lysander had privacy. But now the whole party sees and hears this happen. What would you all like to do?
Felicity will turn to Lysander, hands on hips, like in a very much like a kid imitating a mom, and go, so that thing about secrets that we talked about?
I know what this looks like. I don't know what it means. And Lysander will run over and pick up the book and just kind of hold it and honestly turn it around to everyone and say, can anyone read this?
Is that a check I can try to make to see if I can comprehend something in it?
Can I try?
Yeah,
to
can we all
discern the
look
language?
and see if we understand what's written down?
I will allow all of you to make a history check.
Ugh, history. Okay. Respectable.
Rudy rolled a 12.
12.
Felicity
Okay.
got a 16.
16. And CK?
Is doing my computer's really running really slow because I'm running OBS on it right now. Please give me a second.
Gotcha.
1 second.
17.
CK and Felicity, you were able to put your heads together, and CK, with the sort of baseline knowledge that you have programmed into you that is needed knowledge and expected knowledge for you to be an effective community keeper, you are able to deduce that this is a language spoken by beings that typically come from lower planes, hellish planes, that kind of thing. But you are not
Whoa,
able
what a
to
surprise.
precisely place what it is. Felicity, with that prompting from CK, though, and the stories that you have heard growing up, bedtime stories, fairy tales, very Grimm Brothers-esque kind of fairy tales, you are able to proffer the information that this would either be infernal or abyssal.
So you're a cultist.
Not, well, by choice, yes and no. I don't want to, and he's gonna kind of shudder his wings and kind of float around and like thinking what he wants to say. And he'll pick up the book and kind of press it close to his chest and say, I don't want to put you in danger. I've been hiding and lying in wait in this shop, hiding my identity for so long, trying to find something that this book is supposed to tell me where it is. But this is the closest I've ever gotten, and I still can't decipher what it means, no matter how much I try. So, yes, it's a secret, but it's a secret that I myself don't even know what it means.
Felicity's gonna like tap her chin, thinking, and at you saying like, I don't want to get you all in danger, and then looks at the vines that are covering the ground and the scratches on all of us and go, before turning to Rudy and going, you're an adventurer.
Go on, yeah, and?
Adventurers always are dealing with demons and the devil and yada yada yada, monsters and beings and beasts and creatures and fairies and whatnot.
Continue.
So you might know someone who could speak abyssal or infernal, right?
If the definition of adventurer is somebody who knows abyssal, I probably wouldn't fall under that umbrella, Felicity. More of a performer.
So you've
If you're-
never gone adventuring.
Not an adventure that wasn't scheduled.
Lysander
Gonna-
thinks back to when Rudy broke into his shop and just kind of nods his head.
She's just gonna. Okay. So you don't have any connections. I don't have any connections. Well, besides the cultists we might be meeting tomorrow. And we don't want to trust the CK units to translate, because that'll just get uploaded to the mainframe.
Oh, I was going to see if I could do my best, but I suppose not.
DM, can I roll to remember if anybody in my family knows Abyssal?
Why are you raising your eyebrows like that?
Listen, man,
It's a rabbit thing. You wouldn't get it.
you wouldn't get it.
You are welcome to roll me a history check.
All right, here we go, fellas. History check to see if Evan can make up a sibling who knows Abyssal. That's an 11.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, you're an only child.
Oh, the rabbit?
The rabbit being an only child is wild.
Yeah, that's some choice right. That's a choice right there. Rudy, you do not believe there is anyone in your family who can speak Abyssal.
And does this just consider my family?
I believe that is the question you asked to roll me an answer for.
Fair enough. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Felicity, you do know there's a library in Old Town.
I know. Felicity's gonna sigh and then kind of stomp her feet and go, guess we have to go read.
Oh.
And then kind of grab everything you want. It's a maze in there. We're lucky if we make it out alive.
I can carry books.
That will be helpful. We will need it.
What time is it?
It's about 11 in the morning.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry for if that was unclear. Let's just go to the library. They've got to have books on it. If not, you can always do an interlibrary loan, and they'll actually send you the book that you need.
We love
Is there
CleveNet.
how to read Abyssal for dummies?
Probably.
Yeah,
That won't raise any red flags.
we'll just,
The librarian and I... It won't be the weirdest thing I've researched for her.
we'll just have to keep it on the down low. I don't want some people to catch this book out.
If it makes you feel better, the CKs are not related to any public infrastructure within the town. I do not believe they have any access to any public or any information that isn't public.
Felicity will nod and then kind of go, you do realize we have a robot and rabbit, Harangon, and a fairy, and me all going into a library at the same time. It's going to raise some eyebrows.
Rudy,
I-
Felicity, Lysander,
I have-
roll me an insight check.
Come on. Give me some.
Why are we rolling an insight check?
I'm scared.
Yes,
to
I
know the
said
truth.
so.
I'm not
18.
rolling it, right?
No, you are not.
Why am I not rolling it? This is concerning. I don't think I'm lying.
18.
15.
Felicity, what'd you get?
Oh, is this to tell if somebody is telling the truth? Because I do have a special feature about that.
Use that special feature.
Sick. All right, let me just double read that. Oh, that is just a safety net, which I didn't need. I got a 14.
As CK says that they're not connected to any public infrastructure, you all just kind of like raise your eyebrows because you know that the CK unit and Kraith as a whole has a very close working relationship with the government of the town.
But technically, we are a private organization, so don't worry. I don't think that we have access to library records. I don't think.
Regardless, despite how weird it is, I think I've built up enough of a reputation that people will just see me and go, "That's Felicity," and then move on.
I do agree that we might want to make it less suspicious about going to the library. Maybe 2 of us should not go.
Well, I'm going. As I said, adults tend to just not listen to me anyway, so I'll already be undercover.
DM, do I have a magical creation that might help to disguise CK in any way?
God is about to drop the hardest no on you.
God is about to drop the hardest luck check on you, Claudia.
Roll me a flat d20.
Luck check.
Luck check. That's a 7.
No.
No. Okay.
Hang on. Because the library might not have it. If Lysander and I go to the library, Rudy, you have a partner who works at your dojo, right?
Yeah, Jagatar.
Would he know Abyssal and Infernal?
I have no reason to suspect that. I can't quite remember if I've heard him say anything in a different language before, I say as I roll a 16 on my history check.
You don't think you've ever heard him... Well... What languages do...
Minotaur in common.
Thank you. You've heard him speak Minotaur. You've seen him write Minotaur to his families. You've never heard him speak anything other than Minotaur Common.
I'll tell you what, Felicity. I have a meeting set up with him this evening once he finishes up his classes. He's covering for me so I can be here in the first place. When I make my way back over there tonight, I'll bring it up to him, see if he knows anybody who could speak anything else for you. If we're talking Abyssal here, is there another language that you'd like me to inquire about?
I mean, just a collection of any languages that anyone knows. Abyssal and Infernal are the main ones that seem to be there, though. I've always wanted to meet someone who speaks Primordial, if you want to ask that as well.
I'll keep my ears peeled. I'll bring it up to him tonight. But we can't really bother him on that right now. As I said, he's running classes.
Well, there goes my idea for what the other two can do while we're researching.
Hey, I have lived in this town for an extended period of time, and I, as I have just stated, am very good with books. I'm more than happy to come in anyways. It's not like I'm an uncommon or unwelcome face.
Well, how about this? I'll let you two take my book to the library. I don't really want to be seen right now anyway, out and about there. Just with what happened with CK, I felt eyes. So, me and CK, I kind of want to go back and investigate that spot that we felt the fire and that magic. And
yeah. I was going to say you could also do more poking around my circuitry, but I would be okay with going to the fire, whichever you would want to do first.
Okay, great. I think we should go and investigate that scene again and see if anything's changed. Because if what we had ran into that night is connected to this in any way, I want to be certain of that before we make any rash decisions.
Yeah, let's go
Especially
there
with going
when
to
they
the
go
cultists.
Do you need your book for any spellcasting?
Oh yeah, do I, DM? Technically I do, I guess, huh?
Your tome is your... Well, no, hold on. You have a wand, correct?
Oh, yes, no, I'm okay.
Your tome is not your focus. Sorry,
Correct.
I was thinking you were Everett for a second there. No, you do not need your tome to cast
Great.
your spells.
No, they can take my book. I'll have my wand. I'll be okay.
Slay.
CK slay.
Canonically, EK is
That
Slay.
is a slay.
We love to
Does that
slay.
sound like a plan?
Yes, I think that would be a good plan. Editor, cut out me saying slay.
Oh, absolutely not. That just got uploaded to the database. It's now going to become a common thing amongst
all of the CK units, and from now on in town, just occasionally instead of saying like affirmative, just go slay.
Affirmative.
Oh, that's a bug they're gonna have to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
something got into the code somewhere. Okay.
Felicity will nod and turn to Rudy and go, "You and me in books."
Hooray.
Lysander
Hip, hip.
will very gingerly take his book and hand it to Felicity and say, "Just please be careful."
Felicity will very carefully put it in her large bag, at which she will also give Herky a treat before pulling out a piece of paper and a quill, and then drawing a quick map of the way to the fire from yesterday, since she was leading the way, and hand it to you.
Lysander takes it and puts it into his cloak as he drapes it across his wings.
You also might want to submit your claim for monster insurance for your wall, unless you didn't buy monster insurance.
Lysander looks at the hole in his shop and just kind of gives a big sigh and turns back and says, "I'll probably be able to fix it later. I don't trust insurance companies."
You know, more demonic than most.
That, like, real life foreshadowing of me just blasting out the rear side of your shop only to then get rear-ended.
You know what they say? Karma's a...
Karma's a bitch. I should have known better. If I had a wish, I would have never messed around.
Not Jojo Siwa being canon.
So Siwa.
Shmo shmo shmiwa. That's the type of dance that CK likes, by the way, is
Shmo shmo
He
shmima.
just goes.
yeah. That's what CK does.
Incredible. As you begin to go your separate ways to conduct your investigations, Rudy, Felicity, you walk down the familiar streets of DTR down the river and reach the edge of the auburn forests that lead into the rest of Maple Morrow. As you prepare to exit this district of the town, you notice a notice board to the right of the path. Beyond there is a seemingly well-trodden but unpaved path through the woods as the midday light comes streaming through the autumnal leaves. Is there anything you would like to do before leaving DTR?
I'll take a quick glance of the notice board.
Cool. Roll me an investigation check.
That's a 15.
Rudy, as you glance over this notice board, you see that there are some notices about upcoming events in Maple Morrow. The Day of Burning is about 2 weeks away, which is an annual holiday that is celebrated every year, where the leaves of the forests basically catch fire and burn themselves away so that new buds can start growing. There are a couple of flyers that you have put up about the dojo. There are a couple of missing persons notices. Jimmy Bob, Alexandra, Cordelia, Philip, and you... is there any of that you would like to look closer at?
Yes. I will look at the missing persons, see if it's anyone I recognize.
Is there anyone in particular that you're looking for?
No. I mean, again, I've been here for a while, so I know the town relatively well. I'm just kind of peeking to see if I know any of these people. Just if I've, like, seen them in passing or something.
Okay. Roll me another investigation check. Or, actually, roll me a history check.
Great.
The day of history checks has arrived for Rudy.
Yeah, and Rudy is so excited. That's a 10.
That's a 10. You, Rudy, start skimming through. There are about 6 missing persons notices that are of differing ages based on the weathering of the paper. You see one for Leslie Baker, Chris Perry, Quinn Chambers, Cordelia Andrews, Jordan Hughes, Philip Andrews, Lee Martin.
Could I look at Andrews?
You look at Andrews and you see that this is for, there's one each, one for a man, one for a woman, both in about their mid-30s, who have been missing for, I believe it would be about 8 years.
Okay. Rudy has probably heard of them at some point in his past, but he's just going to kind of tuck that thought into his back pocket and just continue marching on. Just kind of perusing the name, just kind of skimming.
Felicity, are you joining Rudy at the notice board, or are you waiting at the edge of the forest? What are you up to?
Felicity would probably, like, notice Rudy stopped, like, turn to look at Rudy, and kind of noticing where he's fixating, turn and just start walking away.
Rudy will quickly kind of just leave it behind and continue his walk. I'm not going to bring it up or mention anything. We're just going to continue our walk.
As you start into the forest, it is a beautiful fall day, a crisp 63 degrees at the peak of the weather here, with the sun high in the sky now at about noon. You pass a couple of carts coming and going between the different districts of town. People sort of half noticing you, give you a little wave as they pass. After about 10 minutes of walking, you come to the cottages. This is an area of condominiums that was built by Craith. As you pass through here, you do not see anyone on the streets. Every once in a while, you see an open shutter here or there, but for the most part, this is a very quiet area of town. You get the feeling that people are off to work for the day. As you look around here, you notice that the most outward facing of these condominiums are relatively well kept. They look quite nice. But if you take a moment to look a bit deeper into the rows, you see that they deteriorate in upkeep. And as you carry on, you head back into the forest to continue your walk to Old Town. As you then continue carrying on, eventually you break the forest line and have reached Old Town. This is the first section of Maple Morrow that was built. And the buildings here are much less run down, are much more well kept. They have, rather than thatched roof, they have nicely shingled roofs. The streets are of even cobblestone rather than rough stonework. And there is a jaunty buzz to the air in this area of the town. Unlike the somewhat heavy, imposed quiet over down the river of people more keeping to themselves. Here, people are out in the streets, chatting with each other. You see down one of the streets, there is what looks like a farmer's market that is open for business. Is there anything you would like to do before heading to the library?
Felicity will just kind of take in the crowd and turn to Rudy and go, people tend to actually pay attention to you now because we're in Old Town, so just keep a heads up, okay?
Eyes are peeled. I'm ready to go.
Felicity, you would know where this library is, having been active in the town in the way that you have been. So you are able to wind your way to this building without much difficulty, quite quickly. Every once in a while, taking a duck through an alley here or there, but perhaps being a bit more careful with where you trod here than you are in DTR. This is not your area of town. Can you both please roll me perception checks?
Aye, Captain. Ooh.
11.
22.
I'm sorry, what was yours, Rudy?
11.
Rudy, you have spent a fair amount of time here as well, especially considering the fact that Mayor Sendar sends his son to train with you. You've made some house calls here every once in a while. So you know your way about decently as well, and don't really spend much time taking in this area. Felicity, however, you always have your head on a swivel, and every once in a while, as you pass a shop with its front hinged open, or a door standing ajar, propped open with a rock at the base of the door, you can't help but notice voices hush as you walk past, and perhaps a few words exchanged between residents of Old Town behind hands held up to mouths. Do you acknowledge this in any way?
I would say Felicity would notice it to a point that I think Rudy would pick up on what she's paying attention to, but I think she would just kind of shake her head and mutter under her breath to Rudy, "They do this all the time. I'm used to it." As she continues marching forward. And can I ask a backstory clarifying question, Ethan, for
Sure.
Felicity?
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't she used to live in Old Town?
I don't know if we've ever specifically said, but I think that would make sense.
I think I would agree, I was like thinking that, and I was like, I don't think I ever actually clarified that. But in my brain, I'm like, oh no, she lived in Old Town. The orphanage is down the river. So she has experience on both sides.
That absolutely makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's very used to the whispers around here.
Wonderful. As you approach the library, you take in this building that is, it seems very cozy in here. Beautiful wood doors that open up, and as you step in, you see oak bookcases that line every square inch of these walls. There are winding staircases that lead up to even more shelves. Warm lanterns that throw off reading lights even here in the brightest part of the day. warm beams of sunlight that come streaming in through windows that are positioned just right so that they hit the squashy leather armchairs that are scattered throughout the library, so that you have natural light to read by as well. As you... that was a big old mouth noise I just made. We'll cut that out.
Editor, keep it in.
As you take in your surroundings, you see patrons of the library who go up and swipe their hand across the ledge of some of these shelves, which cause these books to shift, and the shelves almost seem to like turn themselves inside out in a few places to reveal even more books that are accessible, as if perhaps even what you see is not the limit of the collection of the volumes here, and that there is some magical archiving that is happening here as well. Behind the center desk that is circular, in the very center of the library, there is an older woman in very neatly pressed, a very neatly pressed skirt and blouse, with a like one of those ribbony bow ties around her neck, and half moon spectacles that sit at the end of her nose. She is flipping through a catalog, helping some people locate volumes that they have asked for help finding. Where would you like to start here?
Felicity is going to turn to Rudy and go, have you ever been in here before?
I've made stops on occasion, but in terms of sitting at a table and looking at a book for a while, no.
Okay. Well, we can go start searching shelves, because that would be the less, but I have a feeling they're not going to care too much what I ask for. So let me go up and ask. And you'll see her kind of like take a breath, and then like she's been pretty like serious, pretty like, I would say, because she's always been pretty chipper, but you see like this like very much like put on like I'm being bright because I have to be aura on her, and she kind of skips her way towards the front desk, and she gives it a little knock, and she goes, I'm back.
You see that the librarian glances over at you and finishes her conversation with the patron that she was helping, sends him on his way, and turns to look at you over the top of her half-moon spectacles. Well, welcome back, Miss Andrews. What are we looking for today?
I'm looking for a translation book. I think I found a new break in the case, so I needed to translate some other languages into Common.
Well, we would want to head to the languages section then today. And she indicates over to the second floor of the library, about 7 shelves back from the spiral staircase to your right. Is there any particular language you're looking for?
Oh, I'm looking for the weird ones, because I can't tell if this is a kind of rune or a kind of symbol, but I think it'll help. So I'm hoping for either primordial, celestial, abyssal, like any of those really out there ones.
Well, the slider on the shelf has the languages alphabetized. So once you get up there, just go to the letters of the language that you're looking for, of course alphabetized in Common, and it shall hopefully present you with that which you need.
Thank you so much. I'm really hoping that this will be the break I need, she says, and then kind of gives a little shake and then skips off.
You hear just like a little bit of a from behind you as you head off.
As soon as she's out of the librarian's eyesight, she immediately settles down and is like, Rudy, come on.
He'll kind of just like look both ways, trying to like anticipate if there's a reason he should be like sneaking because Felicity is whispering.
We're in a library, you dingus.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
As you head up these stairs and past these shelves, every once in a while you feel like you catch just the the faintest of whispering coming from the occasional book. And as you reach the shelf that the librarian indicated, you see into these oak shelves is carved language translation, and underneath there is a in sort of a snake shape is the common alphabet, A through Z, and underneath those letters is a what looks like a brass ball bearing that can be slid along this snaking alphabet. It is currently set on G.
Ooh, I've always wanted to speak Goblin, she says as she slides it to A.
As you slide it to A, the shelves do this same thing that you saw downstairs, where they seemingly turn themselves inside out and new books are presented.
All right, Erdy, grab Abyssal.
I'll start looking for books.
Brilliant. Roll me some investigation checks, both of you.
Man, really good idea to come to the library, where all the intelligence and wisdom checks are.
22.
12.
Brilliant. With a 22, Felicity, you very quickly are able to find an abyssal dictionary and an abyssal to common translation guide.
She'll point the books out to Rudy, and then once he's grabbed them, she'll turn and go, should we just look for Abyssal now, or should I grab the Infernal books as well?
I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, they'll all get returned at the same time. Why make 2 trips? Let's take them both.
True, she says as she drags it down to I.
Once again, these shelves turn themselves inside out, and I will need you to make another investigation check, the both of you, please.
Please, Rudy, please.
12.
8.
You go to about the same spots in the shelves where you found the abyssal guides and dictionaries, but there seem to be empty slots in the bookshelves.
Someone check them out first. Let's hope that it's Abyssal then, and if it's not, I'm gonna have to go talk to the librarian again. I don't like the way she looks at me.
Again, no need to worry. Maybe Jargatar knows something that we could find here that we can't currently find here.
True. Felicity will just reset the thing to G. Why? Don't know. Just feels right. And go to find a private corner study cubby to start looking at the Abyssal to see if it's a match.
As you settle down in a little study nook, we are going to cut back over to CK and Lysander, following the map drawn by Felicity into the woods to go investigate the scene of the fire on the first night that you all found yourselves together. So anything that you two are doing or saying as you walk?
I would probably turn on my, hit the side of my glasses and turn on my magic, detect magic. I would also send out my drone to kind of do like a little, look around the area. If you see anything, come back.
Lysander is kind of just trudging along, kind of huffing under his cloak. Especially since the last battle, he's not feeling too good, to be honest. So he's kind of just chimmying along, kind of keeping his eyes low, and kind of fidgeting with his fingers.
Mm-hmm. So, that monster, huh?
It was kind of odd, wasn't it?
It was a little bit. And then I look over at Lysander and I try to see if there's like how injured he is.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception -1. I got a 12.
Lysander, with a 12, how are you doing?
I mean, he's limping. He's definitely got some cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like rubs his eye that's like kind of going probably into like a black eye sort of thing. He's not doing so good, to be honest. Above table, he is at 9 out of 35 hit points.
I'm going to lay on hands and give 19 points of HP back, and that kind of starts like, you see this red blush start fading back to your natural skin color. You see your cuts kind of seal back up. I would imagine your limp would get better, but not like completely solved, as a lot of your injuries go away.
He kind of almost shakes himself up after feeling this rejuvenation, and gives a little nod in appreciation and goes, "It felt targeted, no? I mean, I know I'm skeptical and I'm overthinking a lot with what happened and bringing you back, and I felt eyes on me.
It did feel awfully inconvenient timing.
Do I remember...
I don't know if it's targeted.
Do I remember, according to the map and where we're heading, to go look at the fire, did the beast come from that direction? And where my shop is in down the river?
It did.
He kind of looks at the map and then looks at where they're heading and goes, the coins, the bramble, everything is leading us back to where we're heading now. Why?
I don't know. There's a lot more happening in this town than I imagined. I really only get to see such a small part, and now the more I see, the more I realize that the CKs don't know anything.
It's not your fault, though. I mean, you have your memories wiped.
Is it not my one responsibility in life to keep everyone safe?
You can't place that on yourself. You don't have a choice in whether your memory is destroyed or not.
I can't place it on myself. You're right. It was placed on for me.
But at the same time, you have to wonder... And he kind of like shuffles a bit and he goes, if the CKs were created for protection, why have the memories wiped at all? Just feels... It's not right. Especially after meeting you and seeing that beyond your hard exterior, there's something underneath there.
I believe I am unique in this aspect.
Still. And he, excuse me. He kind of shuffles along and continues looking at the map.
CK, you hear a ringing in your head start to go off. This is an alarm from your drone that you have sent ahead of you.
I'm going to switch. I'm going to like tap Lysander and like tap my glasses and Lysander.
Hold up!
You see?
Hold up! Isn't your drone broken? Rudy threw a dart at it.
So true.
I cast a first level spell and it fixes it.
Does it?
We could say that Lysander fixed it before we left.
In the sense that I would just be casting my first level spell of Find Familiar.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Yeah, burn that spell slot.
In universe, it is me just. It's been a hot second. I did not cast that spell until you had mentioned that. But Find Familiar is a ritual that you can also just do. Cast
Right.
speed,
Okay, yeah, burn that spell slot, and then we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to totally backtrack what I was about to say, but that's fine. You can have it if you burn a spell slot.
Yes.
You
see, I tap the side of my glasses, and you see like there's a little bit of shining in my eyes that just goes dim as I switch over to the drone vision.
As you switch over to drone vision, you see. When you left this site before, you had taken things like the tongue of the mimic that you fought, all of the gold that was left. Though I believe only the real gold, the bodies of the winged things that you had been fighting, you left behind.
I took a couple specimens.
You took a couple specimens, but you did not take all of them.
Correct.
When you switch over to drone vision, you see that the bodies of these mimics and all of the fake gold has been collected into a pile. And you see a being standing before them that seems to be made entirely of fire. And it reaches out and touches this pile. And with a whoosh, it goes up into flames. You see a bit away the fire that Lysander had lit and seen the eyes inside of is once again ignited as well. This creature turns to your drone, and you see the same bright white eyes. And a faint white outline of a smile as it cocks its head towards the drone. And it runs at this drone.
Am I in range to kind of tell it to come back, or am I not in range for that?
You are about 100 feet away.
Okay, so I am in range. I start having it come back, and I was describing this to Lysander, and I start, like, running towards this thing.
Lysander follows, taking out his wand.
Go ahead and roll me initiative, you two.
Oh, come on!
No.
I come back to the bathroom. You two are in initiative.
Well, don't worry about it.
Shit. Oh, that's an 8.
Oof. Okay, 8 for Lysander. What do you get, CK?
I got a 12.
Is it an action to command your familiar, your drone?
Let me look at Find Familiar real quick.
I should know this with a pip-pip. It's been long enough since I've played Facelore.
It rolls its own initiative.
Go ahead and roll initiative for your drone as well, then.
Okay, I'm gonna say that it has a +1 to initiative, because I don't remember. It got a dirty... something you have to censor out, 20.
Cool. So we're kind of in a loose initiative here. The drone's action is first. Is it just coming straight back to you, CK?
Yeah, it's just running straight back.
And how fast can it move?
I
I believe we gave it the stats of an owl.
Yeah. And it's currently flying, so I'd imagine pretty fast. It has 60 feet, and it is dashing. So 100, it gets back to me within a round.
Within a round. Okay. So, this drone just zips back to you. You then see this fire creature sort of skid to a halt, realizing it is not going to catch up to that. It sort of looks from you to the fire it just set ablaze to back to you, It reaches out and grabs the trunk of a nearby tree, setting it ablaze, and then turns and runs back towards the fire in the place where Lysander lit the fire, where it looked like there had been a fire that Lysander relit when you were here. Was that just last night? Was that just last night?
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, when you were
Last
here
night.
just last night. I thought so.
3 months ago. Same thing.
The
What do you mean?
Marvel-
We record all this in one massive session. We don't record this day by day, baby.
the Marvel Universe sliding scale of time ain't got nothing on TNT.
Literally.
So, it has lit a fire. It has lit a tree on fire. About now 75 feet ahead of the... Well, no, hold on. That's not minus 15. About 85 feet in front of the two of you. About another 15 feet beyond that is this massive pile of insectoid gold coin and mimic bodies that it has lit on fire. And about 5 or 10 feet to the left of that is the fire in the spot that Lysander relit last night. CK, it is going to be your turn.
Is there any... How dense is the foliage around the tree that is now on fire?
You are not yet to the clearing that you were fighting in last night, so it does take a bit of effort to maneuver around these trees. Enough so
Oh, I
that
just meant like the tree that's on fire. Is there any fuel around the fire?
currently it is just the trunk that is on fire, but that fire is starting to reach up towards the top of the tree where leaves do all brush against each other, tree to tree.
Gotcha. So there's nothing around the base of the tree, but it is climbing up the tree. Is it a dead tree?
It's not dead. It is alive, but this fire, maybe because there's a little bit of magic involved, is
Damn it!
quickly consuming this tree.
I couldn't just be like, oh, do I see any magic on it since I'm with my detect magic?
Yeah, there's fire magic.
Evocation magic. What a
Yeah,
surprise!
whatever that is. Evocation magic. Yes.
Yeah. There's evocation magic? No way! Okay. I'm trying to figure out how physics and magic would combine in this situation in order to do basic fire treating skills. And I'm like, do I just need to cut down the top half of this tree? Or is there any way that I can, like, save the tree, kind of? Sorry. I'm going to... Am I flammable? I'm assuming I would get hurt by magic, or by fire.
You are made of wood. Wood and metal.
Wood and metal. Two things that don't go well with fire. I'm going to... Okay, here's my plan. Let me know what I need to roll. Famously, trees are very wet things. They have a lot of moisture within them, and they're very resistant to burning. I do know that obviously this is magical fire, so like that is a little against the point. But what my plan is to do is I'm going to try cutting into the tree, and see if I can hit any sap that would like flow out to, that would help burn or like stop this burning.
Interesting. And I find it difficult to argue that there wouldn't be such sap in a tree around a town called Maple Morrow.
Yeah.
So that's
Probably a maple tree, I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably a pretty good guess. Really clever. Here's what I will have you do. Go ahead and roll me an attack roll, and then add your nature modifier to it.
Okay. That might not be good for me. Adding...
+1.
+1. Okay, that's good.
You are also going to have to get to this tree to do this, and it is about 85 feet in front of you.
85 feet in front of me. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. Here's my plan then. Once my drone gets back to me, I'm essentially going to, like, put my javelin on top of it. Oh, wait. How far is a javelin? How far can a javelin throw? Hold on. Because I have 2 of them. Okay, throw range is 30 and 120. So I'm going to take my first javelin, run 30 feet, and throw it at the tree. Because, honestly, it's probably going to be better for getting the sap out than other things.
So go ahead and roll that with disadvantage, since you're still 55 feet away.
I got a 16 and a natural 1 that almost rolled over to 19. So you decide what that makes happen.
Unfortunately, your javelin, it does connect with the tree, but it does not release any sap.
Damn. Okay, that'll be my turn.
Okay. Lysander, you are up.
Okay, so how big is this fire, do you think? Like, currently?
At the moment, from when the fire creature touched the tree to now being at the bottom of the order, it started just as about the size of a hand print. It has now reached about 10 feet up the tree.
Holy mackerel. Okay. I would like to... How far away are we right now?
You were about 85 feet from the tree, 100 feet from the fire creature.
Okay. I want to use all my movement to get as close as I can to this tree.
Okay. That'll put you 55 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to... Alright, I'm going to use my dash action to get even closer.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just shout to CK, I think I have this under control, as he takes out his wand to prepare a spell for next turn, I guess. Dang. And also,
okay.
He'll also
So
oh wait, no, never mind, I can't do that. Never mind.
So in that case, Lysander, you are now... what's 55 minus 30? 25? No. 5, 4, 3, 2.
85 minus
25.
30 is 55.
Yeah, so you're...
now I'm 25 feet away?
Lysander is 25 feet from the tree,
Okay.
which makes Lysander 40 feet from the fire creature. And
Okay.
Jimmy, you are still 55 feet from the tree,
Mhm.
which makes you 70 feet from the creature.
Okay.
Holy hell. Okay. I just rolled max damage against the tree.
What the?
Never in my life could I ever roll that on an Eldritch Blast when I am playing as a PC, but now here we're going to do 20 points of fire damage against the tree. So Lysander, as you shout out, I think I've got this, you see not only is this fire now reached about halfway up the tree, it has also chewed about halfway through the tree, and you see it start to sway.
Okay.
It is then, if the drone is still on initiative, it is then going to be the drone's turn.
The drone's turn.
Or if you'd like it to just go back into you, that's also fine.
I think it's just time for it to go back into me.
Okay. In that case, it is going to be the fire creature's turn, who is going to use the rest of his movements to reach the fire in what used to be the abandoned campfire that Lysander relit last night. It dives headfirst into this fire, disappears, and with a whoosh, the fire extinguishes. CK, it's your turn.
So, he's gone. I was going to cast Command. Won't do that anymore. Instead, I'm going to run another 30 feet, get within 25 feet, and then try... I don't want to destroy the tree now that it's weakened. Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can... I'm just going to dash towards where the fire demon disappeared and see if I can, see where it went.
Cool. Roll me investigation or perception or insight, depending on what you are trying to get out of this, and what you roll.
Investigation, I got 6 + 3, unfortunately.
Cool. So you see a mix of evocation and conjuration magic. Basically, like right on the ground at what would have been the base of this fire. But with a 9, unfortunately, that is all that you are going to get out of that at this time.
Sounds good. That's fair.
Lysander, you're up.
I'm going to cast Druidcraft at the top of the tree to hopefully snuff out as much of the flame as possible from reaching the other branches.
Okay. So what exactly are you doing with Druidcraft?
Well, it says like I could snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. I know that's not going to do the whole tree, but I'm hoping to just get rid of the flames towards the top of the tree, so that way it doesn't spread. But I know I won't get rid of all of it, so just whipping the wand in hopes that we can buy more time to figure out something else.
Brilliant. So after your turn, it would have reached 20 feet. So I'll say 15 for now. This fire has reached 15 feet up the tree. Create bonfire allows you to create fire in a 5-foot cube. So I'll say you're able to snuff 5 feet of this 15-foot fire from the top. So it's now down to just 10. And where you snuffed, you see that there's like, it looks like this fire has basically chewed through this tree, and only about a third of it remains in that space of the bark that you had just snuffed out. And you do have the feeling that this will only last for about a round.
Okay.
Before the fire starts to grow again.
All right. He will also then just look around to see if there is any water or like an open water or something to help quench the flames.
Cool. Roll me an investigation check.
All right, an 18.
There is a small spring of water about 20 feet to your right.
Okay. He's going to use his movement to get over to there and just shout to CK, "Never mind, I don't got it."
God fucking damn it.
Wow. So to make up for last turn's roll, I'm going to roll real bad on this one. So as you say that, you see that the tree, the fire has basically chewed through enough of this tree that it is starting to lean, but it has not fully fallen yet. CK, it is then going to be your turn.
Which way is it leaning?
With you turning around to look at it, it is leaning to the right. With Lysander still back on the other side of it, it is leaning to the left.
Okay, and which way? Because we're almost at the clearing. Which way is the clearing?
The clearing is forward, so it's leaning like parallel to the clearing. Like it's a tangential line from the clearing.
Got it. Okay, essentially then, how far am I away from the tree?
You used your full movement last turn to run the rest of the way up to where the creature disappeared, correct? So you
Correct.
are about 20 feet? I'll say 20 feet from the fire.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the other side of the fire, and I'm just gonna, at this point the tree is damaged, and I'm just going to push it into the clearing.
Okay. You will have to like cut down enough, or like cut through the last bit of it that's holding on. But I'll then let you make a strength check to control where it falls.
Yes. Can I do athletics?
Yes, absolutely. Athletic check. But also, I'm going to need you to roll me damage on. I'm assuming you're using your sword to cut the tree down.
I was. If it's weak enough to just push, I was just going to push with my hands, but I can use my sword if you'd like me
It
to.
is not weak enough to push.
Okay. Do you need an attack roll against the tree?
I'll assume. Yeah, go ahead.
You
And roll me
assume
an
that I
attack
hit
roll.
I got a 15 for the attack roll.
Yeah, you hit the tree.
Okay, and then a damage roll. Wait, what type of sword do I have again?
Dodge, tree, dodge.
I got 9 damage.
That does cut through the remainder of the tree. So you like bring your sword down right where this fire is chewing away through the remainder of the bark. And you do fully sever it. Go ahead and make me an athletics check to determine whether you are able to push it into the clearing.
Come on. That's going to be an 18.
Oh yeah, so you cut this down, immediately retract your sword, give it a big ol' heave, and this falls harmlessly into at least harmlessly for the moment, into the clearing, but you are pushing it onto the ground where there are like fallen leaves and such. So there's also that.
Yeah, but it was going to fall no matter what, so I had to make sure that it fell the best direction.
This is true. So Lysander, this actually also, because you came into that, you are CK, you are going to take 5 points of fire damage from making contact with this tree. And it will then be Lysander's turn.
He is going to collect as much water as he can, just like with a spare, like, container in his bag. And, let's see. How big is the tree that has fallen now?
So the piece that has fallen, only has about 5 feet of fire on it. But the tree itself is about 20 feet tall. The stump that is left is only about 5 feet. It is on fire also.
Okay, so he is going to throw whatever water he can onto the stump, just to help with whatever, and then he will also then cast Druidcraft again on the one that has fallen, and snuff out that flame.
As you pitch this water and give your wand a wave, you are able to dissipate the remainder of this fire.
Okay.
And avert a forest fire.
Yay.
As this smoke and steam twists through the air, we are going to cut back to the library. Felicity, Rudy, you're in a cozy little study corner. How are you approaching this translation?
Wow. Well, it probably would be to try to find a common word. Ugh, translation sucks. It probably would be like to find the equivalent of abyssal the in the common to abyssal dictionary, and then scout and then pulling out Lysander's book to see if the exists, or actually honestly just looking at the symbols and see if they are at all like similar, or if we're like, nope, it's infernal.
Cool. Roll me an intelligence check. Just D20 plus your intelligence modifier. And I will let y'all choose whether, Rudy, you want to roll one as well, or if you want to just give Felicity your intelligence bonus to add to this roll.
Wait, give her my intelligence bonus?
Yes.
That's not a good idea.
So I'll let you
So-
go ahead and roll as well.
That'll be
Yeah.
it's basically pseudo advantage, right?
Yeah. So rather than give you a +0 on your roll, I also just rolled a 2. So that should help.
Come on, Felicity.
So hey, at least it
rolled a
can't be a
7.
nat 1. All right.
You got
Oh
a
my
7
gosh.
total?
I rolled a 7 total. It was 5 plus 2. She hates reading. What are we expecting from this?
Even with a 7 plus 2, if you speak English and you're trying to look at French, the fact that they use the same letters is not going to help you. So you were able to pretty quickly put together that you were on the right track, but don't have the right book.
It's infernal. Okay. Felicity's gonna look at Rudy and go, I think we need infernal.
So, do you think it would help us to find an infernal translation, or maybe just a book written in infernal that we can use to like cross compare, like words and sentences? Like, what if we found an infernal story tale? Do you think that would help?
Felicity's gonna pause and go, yeah. At least we'd know if it's infernal then. Why you go find an infernal story tale? I'm gonna go to the librarian and ask who last checked out the book on infernal.
Aye, Captain.
So Felicity's gonna dash to the librarian, leaving Rudy to his devices.
Amazing. Rudy, so you're going back to the infernal shelf?
Yes, I want to see. I'm not looking for the letter I for infernal. I'm just looking more so for books that are written in infernal. I'd probably find out how to filter that and find those books.
Cool. Roll me an investigation check.
Please.
If you're going to a different shelf.
Can I roll higher than a 12 today?
Please.
No. That's a 4. Today is a trademarked Rudy bad day.
Unfortunately, as you are perusing the shelves, everything seems to be in common. As if perhaps infernal is not regularly used around the bedside tables of the children who inhabit Old Town.
Wait, I'm sorry. I kind of just like heard half of your words. I did not process. Could you say that again?
Everything that you are finding is in common in the fairy tale section.
Okay.
And even sliding the sliders that are against the side of the shelves seem to just... It seems as if you're going through last names of authors rather than languages.
Okay. Obviously, searching books, that's the Felicity way. We're gonna do this the Rudy way. The Rudy way, yeah. And I want to scan the area and see if there is somebody around who I can get help from, whether it be finding a book or just see if they're handy in Infernal in the first place. Just like a scan of whoever's here in this portion of the library.
Roll me either an investigation or perception check.
God!
Please!
Wait, hold on. No. Nat 1.
Rudy, you approach a male elf that you see in one of these squashy armchairs, who is in a pristine woolen sweater with the collar of a button-down shirt folded nicely over top of it, who is sitting there reading a book. What do you say to this person as you come up and ask for help?
Before I ask him for help, it's very important that I know this and that DM knows this information too. What book is he reading? I want to see if I can glean some information off who he is based off what is in his book. Can I read the cover?
Can't believe you're about to judge a book by its cover.
Yes. About to judge a man by his book cover.
This person is sitting in the language section. Their book cover reads, the socio-political ramifications of mistranslated historical texts.
Oh, God.
You're dealing with a pedantic person.
I know that judging the book off of the cover, Rudy would not talk to this man. However, he's the only guy in the room, so I'm going to. So, remembering what Felicity told him, he's going to strut his way up. And in probably the least, like, charming way possible, just, like, whisper in his ear, like, approach him from behind the chair. Excuse me, I'm looking for some help here, with languages. You seem like you know, languages, I think. And I'm like speaking in his ear in like the least charismatic way possible. Like it's kind of like bad ASMR. Excuse me, hey, sir.
They fully like fall out of the chair when they jump because of you like just coming up behind their ear like this. Can I help you?
Hopefully. I'm looking for resources regarding the infernal language for a friend.
So go to the infernal section.
Oh, that's my problem. I can't find it.
He like looks down the shelves that you were just at where you found the translation books for Abyssal. Well, you're getting awfully warm.
Yeah, I mean, like, I already looked down there. If you want to, like, you know, like, come, like, grab a book for me, because, like, I maybe I'm just, like, blind or so. I can't see down there at all. You know, I'm just asking for a hand. You know, I don't see why you have to be, you know, such a prick about it.
He kind of like looks you up and down, and you see just like a little bit of a single eyebrow raise. And what exactly is it that you are looking for?
I mean, I said it like 8 times already.
Yes, something on infernal, but are you looking for the history of the development of the language? Are you looking for a historical piece about the explorers that went into the hells and met first with demons to try and codify this language? Are you looking for think pieces about how this type of exploration is actually rather damaging to the natural and original culture in the hells? Are you looking for your ABCs?
Pardon me. I'm gonna be entirely frank with you. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm looking for like a translation for dummies, but I'm not seeing any of that. So I was wondering if like maybe like a story tale or like a little storybook or like a fable or like a well-known story translated into Infernal, as I'm unable to find a translation resource of my own.
Roll me a persuasion check, Rudy.
Why do I keep saying story tale? What is a story tale? It's not a thing.
It's a tale of a story. A story of a tale.
Did you say a persuasion?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
8!
This person sits back down in their chair. How about we get the hair out of our ears, and while in a library, we go and speak with the people whose job it is to help those who cannot find their way around. And perhaps they can help you find the Infant's Guide to Infernal. And, Rudy, can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
There's just mockery in him.
I'd love to. That's a 9.
You take 5 points of psychic damage from this vicious mockery.
All right. Listen, man. I know that this isn't true to the character. You know, I'm trying to play true to the character here, but I Evan himself cannot stand for this. Rudy is going to look at this man. Ethan, take note of this because it will be important. I am going to look at this man. I want to study each and every one of his features, and I want to stick him in my memory. And I want to look at him, and I want to say, I'm not going to forget you. Enjoy your book. And I'm going to stomp off. Very quietly stomp off. And I am going to come back for this man one day.
As you stomp away,
Can I roll intimidation?
Sure, roll intimidation.
I think that's an advantage intimidation, honestly. That's pretty,
Yeah, go ahead and do it with advantage.
It's like a how tall Harry
Yeah. We went from a 4 to a 1.
Oof. As you walk away, you hear him muttering about imbeciles who never step foot in the library. Felicity,
Yeah.
you run back down to the librarian. She is sitting behind the counter, scratching away at a roll of parchment with her quill.
Hi, I'm back. So I went to look for languages, and I found most of them, but I'm missing the one for Infernal. And that one, it's not in the shelf, and I want to know if it was checked out.
Are you looking for a... what exactly about Infernal is it that you're looking for?
I'm not looking for, like, the history of the codification or whatever, that kind of nonsense. No, I'm looking for the the direct comment to Infernal translation.
Let's see here. Direct comment to Infernal translation. She's, like, scanning her finger down the roll of parchment. Oh, yes. Looks like that was just turned back in this morning. And she pulls it out of a bin behind the desk. She does some quick paperwork to like mark it, check back in. Are you checking it out, or are you leaving it here in the library?
I think I'll just leave it here in the library. I can reshelve it for you.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Andrews. She marks down all of this on the paper, and she hands you the book.
Felicity takes it, gives her a little head bow, and then runs up to Rudy and waving the book.
You meet Rudy like halfway down the spiral staircase.
Are you okay?
Rudy's ears are like drooped to the side of his head, and he is fuming. There is smoke coming out of the side of his head. Did we find the book?
Yeah. Are you?
Don't.
You look upset.
Don't go up there. Let the man read.
Can Felicity take a peek at this person that Rudy is talking about? Because she's a little snoop.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And given that Felicity already keeps records on everybody, does she recognize who this is?
Yes. This is Edwin Woods, who is in his junior year of linguistic studies at one of the universities in one of the big towns away from Maple Morrow.
Oh, it was Edwin, wasn't it?
So that's his name.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's a linguistics major, probably why he gave you a bit of a hard time. If you really want to get under his skin, know that he wet the bed until he was 22.
Oh, don't worry. I'll remember that. Hey, you have a file. You said you have a file on everybody in the Morrow. Can I borrow that? I need to read it.
Mm-hmm. Felicity's like opens her bag and pulls out like notebooks that are sorted by like Old Town, like this side of Old Town, the Merchants District, people in Down the River, people at the orphanage, like organized like notebooks, and is like, who do you want to know?
Him.
Oh, Edwin. Yeah. She pulls out like Old Town parentheses out of town and flips to her page on Edwin and hands it to him.
And well, I'd imagine it's a very rudimentary page. There's probably like not more than like a page's worth of content on it. Throughout the entire rest of the time that Felicity is actually being productive, I'm just going to be reading and rereading this page over and over again.
Amazing. Are you going to take a crack at translating, Felicity?
Yeah, Felicity's gonna try to translate. At the very least, to know whether or not we have the right book.
Amazing. Go ahead and roll me another intelligence check, please.
Oh god, please, Felicity. Like, intelligence is like... Oh, yeah! 21.
Ooh. Okay. Give me a second to type.
You're like, hang on, I wasn't expecting you to succeed since we failed, like, the 8 ones before this. It is her second highest stat. No, it is a +2, but it is her second highest stat. Sorry,
No,
I
we
succeeded
are,
in a skill check.
Just
that's
so
what I
you
thought.
know, the DCs, and for all you listening folks out there, the DCs were going to be 10 to confirm that you had the right book, 15 to get a partial translation, 20 to get a full translation. And because you rolled a 21, Felicity, as Rudy is muttering and studying this file that you handed him, or this page out of your notebook you handed him, you place the final period on the common translation of this 3-stanza, I don't even know what the right word is, message, poem that appeared in Lysander's book. Would you like to... would you read it to Rudy, or like have Rudy read it?
I think Felicity would finish it, and I guess it would depend on whether or not, like, she'd kind of mutter it to herself, but it would depend on whether or not Rudy showed any interest in it, or if she'd be like, oh, I'll wait to tell everyone. No, she'd share it. Because this has been Rudy, and she'd be like, I got it, and then turn to see Rudy just staring at Edwin's page and kind of give a...
Sorry. Yeah, I was lost in study. So you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's rhyming. Sort of.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, I like rhymes. Rhymes are good.
Hey.
I'm listening.
Translating in and out of fictional languages is hard. Give me a break.
At receiving that word from above, Felicity will stop sassing and continue. To find that which you gave away, to seek that which you lost, retrieve for me the stone of souls and pay the final cost. The mount of flame must burn again and claim its long-fought foe. Let battle ring, let terror reign, let end this tale of woe. I hunger for the taste of life, the world be tempest-tossed. Retrieve for me the stone of souls, reclaim that which you lost. Ooh.
That is real ominous and real
I like Ring
foreboding.
Around the Rosie better.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. That really didn't mean like anything to me at all, but it sounded cool. I wonder if Lysander will get it.
I think Lysander will unfortunately get it very well.
Yeah.
And Felicity is gonna tap her nose and then go, do you think this has anything to do with the harp we found under his bed?
Well, the better question, who did Lysander lose?
Probably Levi, whoever that is. They aren't from here, I can tell you that much.
Well, we got what we needed. We're here. We got what we needed. I think we should very gently break this to Lysander, make our way back there so we can go and do that.
Okay. And she, as she promised, reshelves the book in the infernal section. Looks over at Edwin and just kind of rolls her eyes and is like, I'm ready when you are, Rudy.
Oh, I'm ready. All right, back on the road again. I wonder what Lysander and CK are up to.
As you say that, we're going to cut back to the woods. Lysander, CK, you have douse this fire successfully.
Yay!
What would you like to do now that you are in the woods with the crisis averted?
I would like to kind of look over at the fire pit that the fire demon spirit entity disappeared into and see, like, if I can collect any, like, magical remnants to analyze later.
There is soot from this fire now that it has gone out. But otherwise, it looks nearly identical to what it did when Lysander... or to what it did right before Lysander reignited it last night.
Okay. I'm going to, like, get a little bottle, scoop up the soot, and then put a little cap on it. And do I recognize what that entity would be? Should I make a history check or a religion check on that?
You're welcome to make me a history check.
An 11.
Unfortunately, with the fact that you were trying to avert a forest fire, it's hard to be certain. You know that you you are aware of things like fire elementals that take vaguely humanoid forms that are made of elements, but this didn't seem quite like that. And otherwise, it's really hard to place, considering you were in crisis when you got a clear look at it.
Lysander is going to stare at this tree and then stare at all the other trees in the vicinity and just kind of give a shudder as to what could have been. And he'll pull out his wand and flick it very gently and cast Druidcraft, allowing a flower to bloom on this tree. And just kind of like a humble, like, I'm sorry type of thing that this tree had been destroyed.
Are you doing this on the trunk? Like the stump that's left?
Yeah, I'll go to the stump.
So you cast this, and you see a very small young flower come out of the very center, in the center of the youngest ring of the stump of the tree.
He'll turn to CK and just go, this is more than a coincidence.
What type of entity attacked us earlier today at the house?
It was a shambling mound.
Shambling mound. Is that a demon? Do we know? Is it an aberration? A demon? Is it what is that?
Ethan's favorite monster.
Yeah.
Roll me a history check.
Okay. 6.
It is a large plant.
It's a large plant. I don't know how a plant and a demon would be associated with each other. I don't know if I would make that jump.
But it's very similar to these things that are normally just either alive or dead, but not really beings, and then them be created into monstrosities.
That is true. I don't know if I would make that jump yet, but I do see where you're coming from.
And that demon, that thing, and he'll go over to the fire pit that the thing jumped into, and he's going to cast Alarm. And the way that he does this is he uses his wand, but he also kind of constructs like a hidden alarm system around this thing. And Yeah, it's just until the spell ends. It's 8 hours. An alarm alerts you whether a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area. You can also designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. And it's just gonna be he's making it so that us won't disrupt it, and then that the alarm is mental and not audible, so the only Lysander will know once it's set off. And he'll just, as he's setting this up, he goes, if someone is casting or making things appear or creating monsters out of this pit, we will know.
Is there anything else that you two would like to do in this area?
I don't have anything to you.
I don't think so.
So are you headed back to the shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
As you turn your back on this clearing, the basically makeshift pyre of the bodies of the mimics, the coin insect things that have been bothering you all of yesterday, has started to smolder lower and lower. You start walking back towards Lysander's shop, while at the same time Rudy and Felicity are making their way back from Old Town, for the party to reconvene at their home base and share what they have discovered today. That is where we will end today's session. Thank you for listening to this episode of Performance Check. If you've been enjoying the show, please consider subscribing to our channel on YouTube and following us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram at performance_check_D&D for updates about the show and peeks behind the scenes. Performance Check is an original Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. All settings, situations, and characters in this story are completely fictional. The cast of Performance Check consists of Michael Soliski as Felicity, Jimmy Lancaster as CK373, Evan Marshall as Rudy, and Claudia Cromley as Lysander. The game is DM'd by Ethan Mann. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next session.